Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to share with you 5 free sewing patterns that are perfect for sewing up in linen fabric specifically, and that are really great choices for the spring-summer season. If you're new here, my name's Rebecca. I love making videos about sewing and knitting a handmade wardrobe, and I also love talking about patterns and pattern reviews, and it's always exciting when I get to share free patterns with you. So that's what we're doing today. If you enjoy this sort of content, please do consider subscribing to my channel, and let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, first up, I wanted to share with you the Sky Dress, which is a free pattern from fabricstore.com. They have a large variety of free patterns available that you can download and print out at home. And a lot of you are probably familiar with the Noah shirt, which is a really popular one from their site. I wanted to share the Sky Dress with you because I feel like it's a little bit underrated. I haven't seen that many people who have made it, and it is one that I have made and I really like it. So it's a classic tank dress that is actually reversible. So you can wear it with the buttons going down the front of the dress, or you can flip it around and have the buttons on the back, which is a really nice detail. I like that the straps for the tank are wide enough that it can cover up a bra strap, and it's very breezy and comfortable. It's a very classic design. It feels a little bit 90s to me, which I really like. And the size range goes from 02 all the way up to 28-30. So it's a quite inclusive size range for this free pattern, and the way that fabric store patterns work is that you, as I said, you download the PDF, but then they have a blog called the Thread blog, and there's a really detailed post for each of the patterns that give you step-by-step instructions with pictures, and it's really approachable for beginners to follow. As I said, I've made it. I made mine in fabric store linen as well, and I really like it. I did make one modification to the pattern, and that was to omit the side slits at the bottom of the dress because it has that button up front or back kind of built into the design. You already have a slit at the front or the back depending on how you're wearing it, and so I omitted the side slits from the dress, and I'm still able to walk in it really comfortably, and I feel like there's enough room for movement. Just kind of a stylistic choice. I didn't want all of the pieces to be as floppy. I think this one's a really good one for spring summer. I think you could layer it really nicely over and under things, and a linen tank button front or back dress is a really classic silhouette. So definitely one to check out. Also check out their other free pattern library. Is quite extensive, so if you're unfamiliar, I will link their site below. Okay, next up, I wanted to share this pattern with you specifically because I've seen quite a lot of them popping up both in the ready-to-wear world as well as the sewing community. I think it's just the season, but I've been seeing a lot of waistcoats. I think it's a good piece for spring summer. It's really classy. It works really well in linen. It's just a really beautiful classic piece to add to your wardrobe, and there are quite a few waistcoat sewing patterns that exist in the world, both from the big pattern companies as well as smaller indie pattern designers. There really are a lot to choose from. However, I found a really good one that is free. So I have not made this pattern myself, but the design looks really beautiful and really well done. And that is the Pompon waistcoat from Maison Fauve. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of both the pattern and the pattern company name, but it is a French pattern designer, I believe, and their patterns are also available in English. And as I said, this one is free and it's really beautiful. It's a lovely tailored waistcoat. It has all of the classic features like the little welt pockets and the adjustable back with the little sliders so you can kind of pinch in the waist if you want to. And I think this would be a really good one to try if you're interested in this pattern company's website. and there are other patterns and you haven't tried them before, because it is free and because it is a more involved pattern, I think it would give you a good idea of their instructions and the fit, etc. So I have this one, you know, kind of tentatively in my to make list as well. I wanted to share it with you in case you haven't seen it before. So the size range for this waistcoat is a European size 34 up to a 52, so quite a good size range there as well. The third pattern that I think works really beautifully in linen that is also available to you for free is the Peppermint Lounge Set. So technically this is two patterns. There's a top that is kind of like a t-shirt shape, but it is made in linen. And there's also a pair of elastic waist cropped pants. Now, technically a 2-for-1. I do want to focus on the top though. I feel like there are quite a few free elastic waist pants patterns, and this one having that cropped kind of like just below the knee length, while you could change it, isn't my favorite, but I do really like the top. And I like it for a couple of reasons. One, it's like an elevated t-shirt. Anything made in linen is going to have beautiful drape and flow and breathability to it, which is why it's such a lovely fabric to wear in the warmer months. But wearing a t-shirt or a t-shirt style top in linen just kind of elevates it a little bit. And I really love the design of this shirt. I like the longer length of the short sleeves. I like that it's kind of oversized and breezy. And I have actually made this one before as well, so I can vouch for the fact that I really enjoyed sewing it up, that it has really good instruction. So the size range goes from A through K, which corresponds to a bust measurement from 73 centimeters up to 123 centimeters. So this is based off of Australian sizing charts. The lounge set on Peppermint magazine was created in collaboration with Common Stitch. So if you've made any other Common Stitch patterns or you're familiar with kind of their sizing and how that suits you, this might be a really good option. And yes, I've made this before. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a classic, versatile piece, and a linen top is just so elegant and breezy, and definitely one to consider for your spring, summer sewing. Up next, I wanted to mention a pattern that I've spoken about before on my channel because I did recently make this one, and that is the Connie Skirt, another free pattern from Swim Style Patterns. I actually made my version up in a kind of like a flowy viscose twill fabric, but I think that it would be really beautiful in linen as well. So this is just a classic, simple silhouette. It's a bit of an A-line shaped skirt with an elastic waist. It does come with pockets, but I omitted them. Personal preference, depending on the fabric. I find that when you have a lighter weight fabric, sometimes pockets they don't sit in the way that I prefer. So it does come with pockets if that is your preference. And this is a really simple sewing project. The instructions are very clear and straightforward. And I think a linen skirt is just so beautiful. I've been drawn in particular to midi and maxi length skirts recently. I think a lot of people have. They're as flowy and breathable and comfortable as shorter line skirts, but you have sun coverage, and I just think they look a little bit more elevated. I think they look a little bit more refined sometimes. And so I'm really enjoying a longer line skirt. I love this particular one. So the size range for the Connie skirt goes from an extra small up to a triple XL. So it's got quite a good size range, and I do think that the fit is meant to be quite generous and voluminous. So I think this is a really great one to try out if you're interested in making kind of a quicker project that is just a simple A-line elastic waist skirt, but I think it's really elevated and really classy, and it would pair super well both with the waistcoat pattern as well as the linen top tee pattern. So if you're interested in making a matching linen set. Okay, the final pattern is a pants pattern. I know I quickly passed over the elastic waist pattern that's included in the Peppermint Lounge set. Obviously that is a free one that is available, and you would get it if you download the top part. But I just really don't like that cropped length, and I don't know, something about the silhouette is a little bit off for me on those pants. But I did find a free elastic waist linen pant pattern that I think I like a little bit better, and that is from Mood. So Mood, the fabric store, has quite a large selection of free patterns online. I can say that the instructions are a little bit sparse in comparison to some of the others, so if you're doing something basic, it's probably fine, but if you're making something really involved and you're more of a beginner, just something to keep in mind. So the elastic waist pattern that I think is visually more appealing is the Linda pants. So these have a little bit more of a tapered leg, but they are a full length pant, and I really like the slash pocket design. I haven't downloaded this one yet to check, but it does look like the pocket bag would be secured in the waistband, which is really important to me. I'm not a huge fan of those little bean-shaped side pockets that just kind of sit in the inseam, but then they flap around front to back. Typically when you have a slash pocket, it's more of a rectangular pocket bag and it's secured within that waistband. So I hope that that's what they're doing here. It kind of looks like that's what it would be. And as I said, it's a tapered leg, which I think is really classic. And again, I think these would look really, really great with that waistcoat pattern if you wanted to have like a full linen set. They don't have pleats or anything. It looks like in the product photo that they've kind of ironed a crease into the front leg, but the construction of these looks really, really simple. The size range is quite generous as well. It goes from 00 up to 32. A really good beginner pattern as well, because there's not a lot of bells and whistles added to these pants. Okay, so there you have it. 5 free sewing patterns that are perfect for the spring and summer season, perfect for sewing up in linen. And linen is one of my favorite types of fabric to wear, but also to sew with. It presses really well, it gets softer the more that you wash and dry it. I really, really love wearing linen. I love sewing with it. It's great for beginners. So hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully it gave you some ideas for your spring, summer sewing. And if you're interested in seeing me make any of these patterns in a more like tutorial style, let me know. I am very interested in making all of these. So that's it for today. I hope you guys are doing really, really well, and I look forward to chatting with you in the next one very soon. Happy sewing!